This is the AVS certification course get together. This is all past and current students of the group, mentors, and Jay is here. Spring, I asked Spring if she could come, but she was real sick, so I don't think she'll be here. But please all send your love and blessings to Spring. She gets better. She's got a cold or something. Um, okay, so real quick, let me just share with you all the 7.0 workbook. It's done. And not only is it all organized, but I also added a page. So this is all the regular fun stuff that was already included in. But I'm going to go right to the first page that was added in. And it's right here. Okay, so this is the page that was added in. Let me zoom out a little bit. Right here, this page here. So this is the complete program for each week, and it kind of goes over the title of each training, what was in it, and what was required. And we left it with little check marks so that you can use this to go through the program again if you feel if you want to, which I highly recommend, of course. So that's it, right? So this page here, I wanted to share with you the purpose of this program, how it was set up. So this first phase here, section 1, was about you. Ultimately, what we had to do is we had to create an experience for you all to get to understand how strengths really works and what is it that really gets in our way. So the unleash process, right? I can't because I, or I can't because they turns into I can even though I, and I can even though they. And so that whole process of understanding, when we set a big goal and a dream and a desire and we start telling stories. So that's what that whole first section is about. And what I want you to think about is that anybody that you ever help with strengths, there's their strengths, and then there's the walls and the barriers they put between themselves and those strengths. So that's what that whole section 1 was about. So you could go through it yourself and start challenging some thoughts and beliefs you have. The second part was really about focusing on understanding a little bit more complexity with strengths, some making things a little bit easier to help people break down walls, and of course, give you an opportunity to work with people. And in the very last week of the section 2, which was week 8, we started on the process of marketing, right, which was bringing people to you. And just so you all understand that this piece of the selling piece, which we're going to talk about in a minute, has more than one purpose to it. But I'll get to that in a second. So this Unleash Others, we started talking about applying individual strengths to each domain. And this was the first time I created that document, which was the true strengths descriptions. For those of you that have seen that or have gone through it, basically what I was able to do was take the short descriptions that Gallup gave us and rewrite them for each dominant domain a person could potentially have. So if they had, let's say, if they were dominantly influencing, it changed all their top 10 strengths descriptions. If they were influencing, executing, and strategic thinking, it would change. So that document literally gives you unique strengths descriptions for each and every domain. And the purpose of week 1 through week 5 was so that you can master that 12-week program that you all have. Now you have that program, you can all do that. Week 6, week 7, these are just understanding a little bit more complexities with strengths. One of the reasons why I want you all to understand that we focused on these two right here, week 7 and week 6, was really about giving you some information to help other people gain more interest with wanting to take their strengths assessment. So when you're working with someone who's highly organized, right, you can see that maybe there are some other strengths they would typically have low, right? So that's where we've talked about that. So if a person is like high in, let's say, positivity, chances are they would be low in like restorative. So these were great ways to be able to get people to want to work with you and see the value of your coaching, no matter who they were, no matter how advanced or behind they were in whatever it is they wanted to do. And then, of course, week 7, we all learned the secret of coaching is not about knowing everything. It's about asking all the right questions. And my hope that broke down a lot of beliefs you might have that weren't really helping you when it comes to mentoring or coaching others. You don't have to have all the answers, just the questions, right? The questions are enough. And then we moved into the last part, which was the selling piece, right? So this week 8 through week 12. Week 8 through week 12, it's weird that that keeps popping up. Anyway, week 8 through week 12 was about selling. And I really want to encourage you all to see selling as not about, I'm going to tell you about this thing so that you give me money. Selling is about helping people see things differently. You know, selling is about helping people consider that maybe there's another way of doing things. Because too many of us, and I'm sure everybody here can recognize that whenever we get into a situation where we think there's no hope, there's someone just like you standing around going, I know there's another way. But ultimately, they need to get your attention. They need to they need to get your attention. They need to say, hey, are you dealing with this problem? Would you like to see another solution? And so that's what that whole selling is really about. It's not just about, let me sell you something so you put money in my bank account and I give you a product. It's about opening people's ears up to hear you, to come to you and see another way. And that's what we have here. That's what we got here, ladies and gentlemen. Another way. Right? How many people are in the room right now? What do we got? 31. So we have at least 31 different ways to do anything. Except for a few guests, maybe 32, 33, right? We have a lot of different ways of doing things. And so many of us think that there's no way out or there's no way to solve a certain problem. But there is. There's right here in this room, we've got at least 30 people that could give you a whole different way of doing things. And we don't have to go in the thing of, well, what kind of expert are you? You know, it's not about that, right? It's not about that at all. So that's what I want you to think about when it comes to the selling piece, okay? And then the last piece here, I'll just throw it in, the testimonials. This right here, we're going to talk about today again. This is all, like this right here is the only thing that matters to me, right? The thing that matters to me is the testimonials because they represent results. Of course, we're having a good time here. And we can talk about the testimony of like, it felt good to be a part of a group working towards something every week. And I'm sure some of you might miss that. And I've got something for you for those of you that might be missing that right now. But this idea of testimonials, this is why we do what we do, so that there's a measurement of difference. Instead of sitting around and saying, yeah, I'm pretty sure we did something good together. I want the measurement. I want to see it. Remember, we talked about this, and we're going to get to the 7.0 students now. We'll wrap it up on this. That when we don't get testimonials, we hurt 3 people. Okay, when we don't get testimonials, we hurt 3 people. First, we hurt the people we helped. We hurt the people we helped because if we don't ask them to give us their testimonial, then they are not documenting the hard work they did to get where they are. And they have moved somewhere. Right? How many of you all do not stop and actually give yourself credit for the work you do? Right? Until someone comes along and says, I want you to do it right now. I want you to talk about where you were, right? For those of you right now, the 7.0 students, I want you to think about where you were back in September. It wasn't that long ago. We're only in December, right? Just a couple of months. Where were you? Like really stop and ask yourself, where was I? Where are you now? What did you do to go from where you were to where you are now? What work did you put in? What kind of measurable difference did you see? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your possibilities? What kind of skills did you develop? I'm asking you to give yourself credit for any work you did. Because whatever it is you did, it helped. It got you somewhere and it's moving you forward in just a few months. Some of you moved in different directions, more or less, or whatever. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is you moved. So if we don't get testimonials, we hurt the people we help because we're not giving them an opportunity to actually measure their results. We hurt ourselves when we don't get testimonials because we don't give ourselves credit for the support we offered or the things that we had to develop ourselves to become in order to be of service to someone. How many of you all have, like, for those of you that were in the mentor group, how many of you all have worked pretty damn hard to be of value of those 7.0 students this year? How hard did you work on yourself? Right? And if you don't allow them to give you a testimonial and even just articulate one thing you might have done to support them, you're not giving yourself credit for the work you did to support them. And yes, friends, you did a lot of work. Right? So you hurt yourself when you don't ask for testimonials. There's one more person you also hurt, and you hurt them badly when you don't get testimonials. It's the people out in the world right now that don't even know what you do. They don't even know what we do. They have no idea. They don't even know what we do as an option. They're still out there staring at people on stages, thinking they have to be just like them. And we hurt them if we don't publish these testimonials everywhere we go, hoping and praying that they'll find that testimonial and go, maybe there is another way. Maybe I don't have to compare myself to those people on that stage. Maybe they do believe that they all have to be a certain thing in order to be whatever it is they want to be or have whatever it is they want to have. But they wouldn't know if we keep holding these testimonials back for whatever reason. I don't see it anymore. I'm so far beyond that whole thing of wherever I was before I aggressively went after testimonials. I have no idea what kept me from it. But I know this now. 3 people get hurt when I don't. And it doesn't have, we don't have to wait 7 months to get a testimonial. We can get it in an hour. If I share something with you about your strengths and you go do something, you can give me a testimonial the next day, can't you? Yes. So let's start with I hope you all understand why this matters to me so much, because these things keep us going, right? So let's start with any 7.0 students. If you would love to share just one takeaway you got from this group and how that takeaway has helped you, whatever that means to you, however that is measured, we want to hear it. Let's start with, well, I see Renee's hand up, so let's go with Renee and then Paula.
Thanks, Eddie, even though I'm not 7.0.
Yeah, I just saw your hand go up, so I'm going to trust you.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to last. And Jay knows that I got to leave because I made plans before this date was suggested. So yeah, I want to go first so Jay gets to hear me.
Go for it.
Jay.
Renee.
Other than Eddie, you saw something in me that I didn't see. You pushed me, and doesn't mean like a bad push. You pushed me to see where I could be in the capability, and your patience with me, and you talked me down off of some cliffs sometimes, and you were there for me through 4.0. But the friendship that you brought to me afterwards, to be there for me, knowing what I went through afterwards with my dog and then my dad and just everything in life. I want to thank you so much. You have been a very, very valuable friend and asset to me becoming the whole new me. Between you and Eddie has just unleashed me. And I even said it today on a talk from somebody in Sylvania that I met. You guys have made me be who I can be, and you unleashed me to speak because you asked me to speak on stage, and I will always be grateful to you. Thank you.
Yay, Renee. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
I'll tell you guys that this program that Renee talks about, she's part of the 4.0 Raisinette group, which you had to be part of 4.0 to even know what that means, but it's more than a course, right? This program, it's a movement, and each iteration, it builds on a shared vision that we all share. And then that vision turns into transformation. And you don't just learn about strengths, you unleash your strengths, and you get to change lives and business and relationships. And each step you take, Renee, is a challenge to grow deeper, think bigger, and serve at your highest level. And the world needs all of you, especially you, Renee. Thank you.
Thank you. And you're right. It changes everything once you learn this, and it just opens the doors to so many things.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Renee. I appreciate that. Yeah, and if anybody has anything they want to add when it comes to Jay, and it looks like Spring is here now, I think, if I saw it correctly. Yep, Spring is here. So everybody say hi to Spring as well. She just jumped in. So
Spring
let's
is there.
yeah. So let's go to Paula.
There she is.
Go ahead, Paula.
Excuse me. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that, Renee. I don't really know you, but you're inspiring just by what you've shared. So some of my takeaways, really this community, I love that we're small so that we can actually work together and learn from each other. And in the high hose on Monday, I did not miss one. I might have been a little bit late every once in a while, but oh my gosh, just being together and really diving in a different angle. Jay, thank you so much for all that you did there. And Eddie, just your details and the information that you give us that I can move forward. I went from not really being comfortable with selling, which I'm like, well, it's investing. And I loved how you just kept bringing it back to we're making an investment in ourselves. Well, let's invest in other people too. And that's where I'm moving toward. I might not be doing it super fast, but I'm heading that direction. And I just am really grateful for all that I've been learning. And I look forward to just sharing some victories moving forward. I mean, I've gotten out of my comfort zone and met with the gal one-on-one, face-to-face. So I was like, I thought we were going to do this on Zoom. And she came to my house and I helped her have that strengths conversation. But it was great. And then I've got a whole list of people that I know have taken strengths and I really want to dive in. They used to be like into wanting to understand strengths and it was just their top 5. So I'm excited. My doTERRA folks, I don't really have much of a team, but I have upline, sideline, and I'm going to start building again. So along with coaching. So I'm very excited about where 2025 is going to be going for me. So thank you very much. And Rianne, I see you here too. And Vi, they my mentors. We were at ebb and flow. We were, people were in and out in our mentor group, but it was just beautiful. It was great. So thank you so much for being there.
Awesome. Thank you, Paula.
Woo!
The one thing I want everybody to understand what you can actually do is you can actually thank people for the hard work that they did for themselves. Okay. You can do that. Like I can tell Paula, thank you for the hard work that you did for you. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you.
All right. So much. Okay, let's go to Valerie Steele next.
Hey, Eddie. So I think the 7.0 for me, as I had shared with you earlier, I think what it has done has allowed me to really feel like what I have, that I'm worth something, that I can, like I had told you, I always felt like, well, I should just give it away, because I always feel like that. It's like if somebody asks me a question and they want some help, then I'm going to help them. I'm going to give them the information. But what I think 7.0 has really done for me, and really in the high hose, has allowed me to see that the information that I have is worth something, and it's worth something to others, and they want that information. So Jay is just fantastic in high hope when she doesn't have that background thing on, and she has left that off. Thank you, Jay. God, you've been so good about
That is
not having
just
that.
for you, Valerie.
Yeah, I
Only-
know. And I think I missed two because I was at work and I would be sitting there at work going, hi, host starting. We need to hurry. I need to get out of here. Because I hated to miss it. Because you allowed us to really be ourselves and to share and open up, no judgment, no, worries. It was just really great to have you. I loved all our mentors. I loved Ilona and I loved Tabitha. We had a good small group. I really enjoyed them. So this has just been a great opportunity to learn what I can do and to learn my worth. So Eddie, thank you. It's been great. I've got, let's see, 2, 3, 4 people with codes. So there's 4 of my 5, and one that's taken his test, and he was going over it the other night, just screaming in the phone like, "My harmony's my last one." I was like, "Okay." I go, "Well, what is your number 5?" He goes, "Woo," and I go, "All right, okay." And I'm thinking, I don't see woo in you, but okay. So it was really good. It's a great opportunity to be able to talk to people about their strengths. So thank you very much. Thank you, Jay. Thank
Yay,
you. You've been
Val.
great.
Thanks for sharing. That was great.
All right. That was excellent. Thank you, Valerie. All right, let's go to Donna Card next. Go ahead, Donna.
Well, I want to tell both you and Jay, thank you for all that you have done to help me grow. And I agree totally with everybody that spoke so far. Valerie was talking about Hi-Ho and how Jay helped us to open up. And I'm not sure why the Hi-Ho was like it is. I feel like I'm just still a baby with strengths and just barely understanding all of the different stuff, but feeling like I understand so much, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. But I felt like in the Hi-Hos too, I really could open up and say things and talk to people. I thank you for your encouragement, Eddie. I still am at awe that I even joined, because you opening up that first day and me coming and listening. And then when you did the breakouts, but you stayed in with the people that hadn't joined yet, I still am at awe that I ended up joining. I'm not saying your persuasiveness, but your belief. And I wouldn't be here. I know definitely if it wasn't your belief that I could finish something. I still feel like I'm lacking in so many different areas and I didn't do all that I could have done, but now I'm understanding who I am and it's helping me so much. So I just wanted to tell you guys, thank you. I feel like I've got stuff from everybody throughout the whole group, people saying stuff, and I just pick up this and this and this. And then when you had the, whatever the session with Tyler, I feel like allergies and addictions just like, oh, they just hit me. I was like, Eddie, I need to learn more, so thank you for all that you're giving us in so many different areas. And I know we still can have that connection with Jay. Thank you so much for the Hi-Hos and everything else.
Hey, Donna. Thank you. Donna,
Yeah.
I renamed you Donna.
You did?
And only if you came to Monday nights you would know why I renamed her. It says, "I am an amazing farm girl."
So good, Donna. And I remember that day when you came, and what's really hitting home for me is you said the belief. And I can't encourage everybody here enough to share your belief in people with others. Share your belief in people with others. And Donna just gave a great testimonial of that. And so I'm grateful to you, Donna, for the work you've done for you. I know you've done a lot already too. So thank you, Donna, for doing the work for you.
I think she fell off, Eddie.
Oh, she did? Okay, well, she'll get the recording then.
She'll get the recording.
All right. Okay, well, keep the, if we got any more 7.0 students, please keep it coming. I'm going to share real quick some, for those of you that want to keep the meetings going and keep on a meeting, talk about strengths, maybe at a more deeper level. I've got something I want to share with you in just a few minutes. Let's go to Victoria next. I saw her hand up. Victoria, go ahead.
I didn't realize it was for 7.0s.
No, go for it. It's okay.
I'm
We want to hear
4.0.
you. We want to hear you too.
Okay. Yeah. So I just want to thank all of you, Eddie, Jay, and Spring, for you, Eddie, for having the program, and then for you having the foresight and the wisdom to hire both Jay and Spring.
Of course she is.
Talk about Spring for a second. I remember at the beginning I was always behind, so Spring helped me in many little ways to overcome some of the one of these tests, and she's always been there, and she's there now creating my webpage. It's almost done. But I want to talk about Jay and the Hi Ho because, quite honestly, I couldn't imagine going through one of your coaching programs without having Jay or the Hi Ho, because I didn't realize. I was like, "What's a Hi Ho?" And the first night I got on,
Gotta ask Tracy Bach, where is she? There she is. It's all
Uh,
your
I got what's a Hi Ho, and Jay made me feel so valued because I was on another meeting with another company and I had to choose between the two, and I don't know, something Jay said, I don't remember specifically, but I realized how important the Hi Ho was and the connection and how much she helped us. The biggest thing she did, because I've been writing my DNA since 2019, and at the beginning we needed to write our DNA, and Jay had the foresight to realize we all didn't quite have it. Jay, you gave us an extra 2 weeks, and in those 2 weeks I really buckled down and I finally got my DNA written like I like it. And so I want to thank you for that. And of course, for always being there for me and encouraging me not to compare myself with others.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you,
best
Tori.
lesson ever, Victoria. Thank you for hanging on to that and learning it.
Yes.
Donna, you're back. Yeah, but I see your hand up again. Was there something you wanted to add?
No, I just wondered, is this recorded? Because right when
Yes.
Jay said I renamed you, I didn't pay attention. My phone was almost dead, so that one died, and I have this other phone. So it is recorded, and I will be able to listen to it. Thank you.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
wanted to
Don't worry.
make
You're
sure.
good.
Okay.
You're good. All right. So I am not seeing any. Well, Alexis is here. Alexis, let us know if you want to share. I think Alexis would be the last of the 7.0 students that are here now. So we're going to go to the, unless Alexis wants to share, we're going to go to the remaining students in just a moment. Let me know, Alexis, if you'd like to share.
And Marion has her hand up too, Eddie.
Oh, Marion too. Okay, cool. I'm not seeing hands. Why am I not seeing hands? Oh, I see. I got my thing is showing up there. Okay, Marion, go ahead.
I was doing my real hand, not the.
Oh, that. Okay.
He doesn't see me.
I didn't see you. Go ahead, Marion.
No, he does see me. Eddie, you are one who is so generous and always over delivers. I'm in the 7.0.1, which was one of the extra groups that Eddie offered this to, and I was kind of in it late, and given my own circumstances, I couldn't get in at convention time, and but I sat there with Eddie in 2018, the first time Gallup presented to us at doTERRA, and I couldn't let go of it. It's become part of our team. It has become, for me personally, what makes us, like Eddie says, infinitely unique. And what it gave me was the confidence and the process and the depth of knowledge on strengths. Like, I had enough to be dangerous, to talk to my team, but to really work with them. And I see so much going forward with my team, but also as I grow a client base, to help people let go of those leashes, to really become unstoppable in 2025, because that's what I see for myself. I did, and Eddie, I still have to send this to you. The testimonial that I had written last week was, before we started, I felt like something was missing. With all the learner that's in me and all the things that I have, under my belt, this completed everything. to be able to teach strengths with confidence, in myself and in just showing people their own worth and their own value. So the way Eddie taught with such flow and to talk about every subject and to ask the questions in such a loving and not selling way is something that I want to master myself, is that kind of ease where everyone has no question in that they want to learn more about strengths and about themselves and their strengths. And the other thing, because there's so much judgment, I grew up with a lot of judgment in my life, that this is a process that's taught without judgment. Like even the judgy strengths don't have to be judgment. It's just an observation. It's just a piece of who you are. And so, I think comfort and ease is the thing that makes teaching strength so much fun. And, I really want to have just a beautiful client base going forward. And Jay, I love that you said this was a movement and that we're a small group and we are starting a new wave of just helping people up level what they want to do with their lives. So Eddie, thank you so much.
Awesome. Marion, watching you go through the process and learning these things, it's fun because when I think about you, I think about how I feel like a kid when I'm learning something new with strengths. And see that, like that right there, that face you just make, it's like you have that same like childlike love for this too. And it's very like that desire inside is very innocent and precious, and I'm grateful that you carry it. It's fun. It's fun talking to you about strengths and watching you kind of like learn it, and then we go back and forth and learn more. It's awesome. So thank you for the work you've done for you as well.
Thank you. And also to Jay, I wasn't in the Hi-Ho, but I've gotten to know you, and even on Facebook, more, and your love of the water and my love of the water, and Spring, you have been, I don't even know the word. I love that you love buttons and you make the whole process of building what has to be built so simple. And I love and appreciate everything that you've done for me, and I know for a lot of other people. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Marion. Oof. We got more. So we're going to go to Evelyn Cook next. And then I want to share with you all something that we're doing in the inner circle that's very exciting going forward. So let's go to Evelyn and then we'll talk about the inner circle next.
Man.
Okay. I don't know if you remember this or not, Eddie, but I've been following strengths since almost the beginning. And I went to one of the in-person meetings and I had a meltdown where I was sitting, you'd asked the question, what would life be like if you never achieved this goal? We had, we were breaking through the leashes and these things. And when you ask that question, what would it be like? I broke down because I couldn't, I just couldn't see. And I had to leave the meeting. And then through the struggles and things through my life, I didn't have any luck, and I was finally able to join the 7.0 group. And when I joined the 7.0, I think it was the second edition of it, I was able to finally come to terms with that realization that I don't want my life to be the same. And I have the power, the capabilities to get that done. And I can do it. So thank you, Eddie.
Yeah, you are so welcome. And thank you, Evelyn. Thank you for doing the work to cut through all that, right? That we'll call it that fog, right? With a big giant pair of scissors. Because it was thick.
It was very thick.
And what's beautiful about it is that there's you see a light. And I don't know, for those of you who might know Evelyn, have maybe seen Evelyn around in the calls, not just in the certification, but maybe in the weekly calls or the Unleash Your Strengths community calls. Some of you all maybe know Evelyn from a while back because she has been attending some of these calls for a while, and maybe you just noticed something. And if you did notice something, just in case you have, feel free to share it in the chat. It's important that people get a fresh perspective of how they show up from others. But thank you, Evelyn, for doing the work you've done so far. And I'm excited for what you get to do next. All right, man, these get hard for, like, not hard, like in a bad way. It feels like I'm carrying this. Isn't that fascinating? Like, I don't know if y'all feel like this too, but when these testimonials start coming in, I feel like I'm carrying them, like I'm supposed to hold on to them. Like I'm supposed to let them soak in, and it gets hard to even breathe a little bit because the weight of it. It's just interesting that I go through this process.
I got
every
an
time I
oil
do
for
this.
that.
What's that?
I got an oil for that. Grab it.
I'm sure you do.
Let's do it, kid.
Well, I don't know that I think right now I appreciate it. So if I fail to appreciate it, I'll jump on that right away. Right now I'm kind of embracing it. Okay, so let me share a little bit about the inner circle and what is that, and then I want to get to, so any 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 3.5, 4.0, 5.0, or 6.0 students that want to share what have been the lasting takeaways for you. Raise your digital hand up, and I'm going to get to you as soon as I share some thoughts about the inner circle. What are some takeaways that have stuck with you since you finished the program? So if you want to share that, put your digital hand up, and I'll get to you in just a moment. So the Inner Circle has been, in the past, has been a program that I've made available. It's a smaller group, obviously. I've made available for those who have graduated the certification program, which means you've finished the program, you've generated the income, and then you would get a private invitation from me to join the Inner Circle. Well, God and Ray have decided to come into my life, and being that God is now in charge of my business completely 100%, both of them said that rule was a terrible rule. That rule needed to be removed. That barrier needed to be removed. So the Inner Circle is where you get more, so much more. For those of you that are in the Inner Circle now and wouldn't mind sharing just a little bit in the chat of what you love or what you're taking away, what you love about the Inner Circle, for those of you that are members. And essentially what it is, it was originally a place for me to share more of what I've learned about strengths. And I got to share with you all that I have been, for the last 2 years, operating under the belief that I had to create something new. I had to keep creating something new that would make a difference in people's lives. And it had to start with the Inner Circle. And so I carried that belief with me for 2 years. And the fruits of that 2-year journey have become what is I'm just going to say it, the greatest library of strength training I think there is on this planet. And it's not just about more information. My goal has always been, how can I help people simplify the application of looking at strengths the way that I do? So I'm going to just show you all just a visual of what I mean by this. This right here, this little section, as you can see. Okay, so it says ICM Principles 2024. This is just 1 year. Each and every one of these little arrows, if I click on them, you're going to see, has anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour's worth of training on a very specific subject. Each and every one of these is anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half of specific training on a specific subject, depending on the need that a person has when it comes to helping people. Mastering the good, bad, and the ugly. How to, like, we did a whole 6-part training on how to move groups of people forward, right? That was the last one we just did. How to promote and sell your products authentically. The process of creating content. How to do following. Oh, well, Jay did some follow-ups in here. This is awesome. How to build an audience for your product. This was just 2024. This right here is 2023. This is my life, friends. This is my life that I've been pouring into this group for 2 years intensely, and a little bit more, obviously. This right here, how to make your yearly goal in 15 minutes a day. How to understand accepting strengths, understand like judgy strengths, how to understand internal strengths, external strengths, judging, accepting, energetic, practical, et cetera, et cetera. We've even got like tools in here, how to utilize artificial intelligence to help you help others faster, which has been an amazing tool for me. I've got more I want to share on that as we go. I also spent a lot of time teaching people how to teach the basic strengths workshop that has been part of my business and everything that I've been teaching people that moves companies forward. So when companies hire me, I take them through a strengths workshop. And so in here, I teach every single detail of how I teach that workshop. Where do you stand in the room when you talk about this? Where do you stand in the room when you talk about that? Here are the things you say. Here are my anecdotes, my stories, the things I use to help people understand strengths faster. It's all in there. We also talk about strengths in marriages, how to help people with relationships, right? And then this right here is a list of documents and coaching tools that I've created over the years. In particular, I'm going to share this because this is part of what we're going to be doing going forward. This is the coach's playbook. Right here, when you're working with someone, the purpose of this playbook is to make sure that you know exactly what is your job when you're helping people, what is their job, and what's God's job. How to apply it. Every single step by step is like you can actually use these to coach people, mentor people, support people through your network marketing business, your coaching business, or just helping people with whatever. All of this is all laid out for you. This is how, like, for me, oh, the coach's rule book. This is awesome. So you have rules as a coach you want to honor. This is a simple 2-page document just to help you all see how much goes into this. I have workshop replays where I've done several workshops over the years on all kinds of various things. Like these are the annual workshops. So at the end of the year, I would typically do a workshop. We hired a gal named Colleen McCartney to teach people how to generate an income with using Calendly. All in here. I've done influencing your way trainings. These are here. These are no joke. This is like more hour and a half on how to sell online. These are Q&As where people come in and ask questions and I just answer them. And these basically get turned into trainings. For those of you that are in the inner circle, you maybe have forgotten how much of this you all have access to. There's so much in here. And I'll explain why that I'm saying that, because this is part of what I'm doing going forward. There's a specific training on 3 businesses, what's great about you, coaching conversations. Let me zoom in on a little bit, see if maybe that helps make these a little bit bigger. There we go. And then for those of you that are in doTERRA, these are some boot camps that I've done with top leaders in doTERRA on how they built their businesses. And they literally came and they trained for a good hour. Then we went through their strengths. These are evergreen trainings. These are high-level leaders inside of doTERRA. So that's what's been going on for the last 2.5 years. So I made a decision that 2025 was not going to be a time when we create new trainings. 2025 was going to be the year where we master it. Right? Time to master it. So I created with Spring. So just so y'all know, this is not just me. Spring and I are now part of this. We are organizing a tool for all the members of the inner circle. And for those of you that are interested in getting in, just message me privately. I'll meet with you privately and talk you through it if you need, because there's so much to talk about, but I want to make sure that it applies to you personally. But Spring and I have created this this tool to begin with. And what we're going to do is each member of the inner circle has already started, but they're going to meet with me privately, and we're going to do two things. So this is what I'm totally pumped about. We're going to do two things. Number one is we're going to go over exactly what it is you care about most. Right here, we're going to start with this document, exactly what you care about most. And we're going to call that your unique goal. What is the thing that you want to see happen in 2025? Then we're going to make a measurement of right now where you are and what tools and assets that you already have access to, right? In other words, do you already have an audience, or do you already have the ability to help people with certain things? Whatever it is you have, we're going to make a list of that. This document here will expand a bit, but then the next thing we want to do is we want to make a list of the 3 most important skills that you want to develop, whether it's selling or, you know, maybe it's building stronger relationships with a loved one, because they're all specific. There's one person in particular in the inner circle. It's not about business at all. She actually wants to develop a stronger relationship with someone personal in their life. And so we're talking about that. So what's the 3 skills they need to develop? For her, it was like, I need to have better listening skills, more compassion skills, more forgiveness skills, right? And then what kind of tools do we already have inside the inner circle, which is obviously vast, that are specific for you? And when I make that list of the top 3 most important tools that we have in the group, Spring and I are going to go through and make those trainings simpler so you don't have to sit through an 1.5-hour video. We're actually going to go in and section out parts of the video, and so that you can just skip to the part of the video that's relevant to you. And we're going to create worksheets for anyone that doesn't have it, so that you're within 15 minutes or less, you're able to develop the skill to help you get the result you want, right? And then we're going to talk about the results that you're getting during the time. So we need to hit benchmarks, right? And then ultimately, where is the testimonial, right? Where is the difference going to be made? So I'm extremely excited about that. Then we're creating a whole new level of mastery certification. So friends, this is the most I've ever created in my whole life that will help people to be able to look at a strengths report and instantly be able to turn to look to a person and make an impact on their life, even a total stranger. They show you their strengths, and in less than 3 minutes, you're going to say things that are going to just come out of you because of this level of understanding, and they will be blown away, and you will be able to make an impact on people's lives in just minutes of seeing a brand new strengths report with a total stranger. I've been doing this for a while, and I finally figured out a way to teach it. And so in this new certification, there's 7 subjects that you're going to develop mastery in over the next 3 months, 6 months, year, however long it takes you, it's up to you. But you're going to learn the difference between, or master the difference between energetic and a practical strength, the difference between a judgy and an accepting strength, the difference between an internal and an external strength and how they work. I'm going to teach you how to take an entire strengths report and break it down to 1 sentence to be able to mentor people in just a few minutes without having to spend hours on a Zoom call with them. In 1 sentence, I'll teach you how to break down a strengths report in just 1 sentence. I'm going to help you master the coach's playbook. You're going to master the good, bad, and ugly and the 3 businesses and how it works. And then, of course, you're going to master my favorite, which is the strengths audio breakdowns and the 3-minute challenge, which is you're going to get brand new strengths reports. And I'm going to teach you how to read them in just 3 minutes and throw mind-blowing information with total strangers. So the accomplishment of these sections would require each member of the inner circle to perform 10 examples for each of these sections. So we're going to give you a worksheet to keep track of this as you're applying this to your personal life. So it's not just about your business or whatever. It's whoever you're interacting with, you're going to do your homework with. If you talk to people, you're going to do your homework. No matter what you do, you're going to do your homework. It's going to be part of it. I want the inner circle to be a part of your personal life and your business, everything that you do. And then, of course, you're going to partner up with members of the inner circle to help each other out, to learn more. And because of this, what I've learned from the Hi Ho and watching Jay do what she does, I've learned how valuable it is to help people, to get people together to learn these concepts together. So if you have questions about this, message me privately and I'll happily answer. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time answering all the questions, but I can tell you it's going to start on January 1st. So we're just a couple of days away with all the current members of the Inner Circle, plus anyone that wants to join. If you're interested in learning more, just message me privately. I will happily jump on a phone call with you after this today, no matter how many people are here, and I'll talk with you all personally. I've given myself all day today to be available to you all and with any question you have. Okay, so that's what's happening with the Inner Circle going forward. It's a whole new level of friends, and I'm super pumped for those that are already in the Inner Circle and those that are going to be coming in later. All right. Okay. Thank you all for hanging out. There's so much, but I'm really, as you can see, I could talk for days about how much is in there, but I want to hear more of you all. Let's go to Robin Fraser next. Robin, let's hear from you. What are some lasting takeaways for you and any other thoughts you want to share today?
So good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for having me. Wow. So I stalked the Eddie Via Strengths coaching for years. And my baby sister, she'll always be my baby sister, was very actively involved, Ruth Furr. And Ruth and I are very different, as a lot of you know. Her strengths, her top strengths are my bottom. And my bottom are her top. Did I say, yeah, do you all get the thought? So when I first joined 5.0, I did it because when I realized how different we were, I wanted to recognize that we were different. We're in business together. We're both leaders in doTERRA. And I wanted to be able to understand how to work with her better because it was truly holding me back to try and be like her. So through the 5.0, I learned that it's okay for me to be me. As Eddie has so stoically pointed out to me, it's okay for me to stop and listen and ask questions instead of going like that Energizer bunny with 6 influencing strengths and just saying, okay, everybody, follow me, follow me, follow me. Come on, let's do it. Yay! That cheerleader piece of me. And I've learned to fortify myself. I've learned that as a person who loves to move people forward, that all of that is actually that they are going to condemn me. People are going to look at me and go, wow, I want to be like you. I don't want them to be like me. Get over that. And Robin, you need to slow down so others can catch up to you. And I've learned that that's their stuff. And I need to continue. I need to be the person I am that God made me. And I need to also embrace others as a leader. Instead of that fight or flight, I now want to understand them and their strengths. And now I want to also help people that are like them, that I want to like them through who they are, to step back and breathe that through. I've allowed and I've come alongside of God to be able to have Him solely direct me instead of others directing me along the way. And I know that great people don't need to be told what to do. We just do it. And I've embraced the fact that I'm a pretty great person and that I know others have tried to slow me down, but I'm unstoppable. And each one of us is unstoppable in who we are and in who our strengths are. And I've cried through it. Jay, Dondra, there are so many of you that in the 5.0 that have really, really helped me to be able to realize all of this and to accept me for the dynamic and powerful person that I am, that can stand on the stage and do all sorts of things. And I just encourage each of you to be who you are and go forward in the person that you are. That is so totally important because every single one of us God has put us on this earth for a reason. And that reason is to love ourselves first and to love God and to help others be the best they can possibly be. My business has grown. I'm sharing with other people. I'm in the process now of also starting a class and sharing DNA with the people at my church, with the leadership at my church. I'm going to be teaching the leadership at my church how to embrace themselves. And it's so beautiful that all of us can do whatever we set our hearts and our minds and our gut to. Eddie, you're an inspiration, bud. You are a heart of who I am, and also so much a part of that. Jay, you moved me forward by daggone it. And Spring, you have helped me with all those behind the scenes stuff that has been just so beautiful to be able to help me first and foremost to move myself forward. Because when we can move ourselves forward, we can move other people forward. And I just thank each and every one of you very much. Each of us can do it. And Happy New Year too, Melissa. Okay. Whew. Thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robin. All right, let's keep this going with Brian Hahn next. Brian, go ahead, brother.
So I started wanting to learn how to help people move forward faster, and I wasn't sure what I was getting into for everything, and I got way more than I expected, and I moved forward further than I expected. So I was in 6.0, so I did have a journal. I look back on what I did, and last night I looked and said, oh, I joined the Eddie Via certification program. So that was yesterday, so it's only been a year ago that I joined. But some of the on-lasting changes I learned is one of them was from Hi-Ho. I did not expect Hi-Ho to be the value that it was, but learning how working with others and learning with others as a group, how that worked. And Jay does a fabulous job of drawing us all out and different insights every week. And the interesting thing, some of those insights are the things that made huge differences for me. And I knew about both of these, but there's something about knowing about it or actually being able to know it and do it is the thing. So the whole Alicia's experience and being in my business versus other people's business versus God's business. So when I first joined, I was probably trying to be in other people's business more than I should have been, was the first challenge with the whole thing that I learned. But integrating, not just knowing about it, but actually integrating it into how I do and what I do. And if I start talking about they've got to do something or someone else has got to do something, I know not in my business anymore. So that's been a huge aha about that. And then seeing how I can unleash myself and help others unleash. And then the last one came from doing all the strength work with people. So I'd go in and I'd be talking to somebody, some amazing people that have like all the opposite strengths than I do. You know, their top strengths are my bottom and vice versa. And seeing what kind of amazing people they were and realizing actually being able to see people for what they are and loving them anyway, I guess is how I would point that or see that. But it's been how the gifts of everybody, because they're, you know, as Eddie talks about different ways of doing things, they have totally different ways of thinking and doing things. And, you know, what's obvious to them isn't to me. And sometimes it's the other way around. So just being able to see people for how they are and appreciate them with them has been just a huge growth opportunity for me. So it's been fantastic. And the inner circle is really good too, by the way. The old one was good and the new one's going to be good too.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, brother.
Yep.
All right, Brian, thank you. All right, let's hold on one second. I got to go in order here. Okay, let's go to Tracy Bach. T Bach. We're bringing Tracy Bach. What?
I'm going to give you the dude. Dude. So, with the exception of very few people on this call, Jay, Merrill, Kathy Kuhn, perhaps I think even Lori Davenport, there are very few of us that we can actually call ourselves OG, the OG. And I have watched Eddie grow throughout this whole process. I have watched how he has matured and become, dare I say, more focused, and watched how he has taken this program from an idea and made it something that is a stellar, just a stellar certification program. I have seen Jay become so laser focused. Also, that kind of seems to be my word right now, and how well and quickly and insightfully she cuts through everything and gets right to the heart of the matter. I love her so much because, she and I both have the same, well, we're 4 and 4, and we have 8 of the same strengths. And yet we are, I know, and we're just awesome together. But it's truly a testament to how every person is unique. Okay. And I dare say that there would not be as many grads in this program if it hadn't been for Jay and for Hi-Ho. Because what Jay did was took concepts and make them practical and applicable to each person, and how it moves that person forward. So, and then now that, I joined the ICM in the very beginning because I just, I wanted more of it. I just wanted more of it. I'm a relator, and it's important to me to be with people who are on that same path as I am, and who are moving forward, and connecting with those people. So the concepts that Eddie had taught, what Eddie's taught, have stretched me to the limit. Sometimes it just made me crazy. Sometimes literally, literally just a little bit crazy. And, but I'm just, there are few people where you can be yourself with in this world, and that you can actually, oh, I understand this person, that sort of thing. And that's what long-term the ICM has done for me. So Jay, I adore you. I adore you. She's this tiny little 5'2" person with this energy that's just beyond amazing. And then on the opposite end of the scale, you have Eddie at 6'7". So that's the long and the short of it right there.
That was very
So,
funny, Tracy.
yes, that's right. So anyway, the ICM is something that if I'll move heaven and earth to be here. Absolutely. There you go.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thanks, Tracy. Love you.
Thank you so much, Tracy, for as always, of course, for the intense hard work you've done on you. I've watched it, I've seen it, and I've sat in with you in some of our private meetings and our group meetings, where I can watch you just like in here battling, And but you show up. You show up. And that's it. That's really all we have to do, friends, is just show up. You don't have to show up, looking good or having everything in order. I'm rarely those two things. But I do show up and you show up. And that's what we're trying to do, right? Just find ways to show up, because when you show up, that's when differences change or things really make a difference. Whew, okay, let's go to Lori Davenport. All right, Lori, let's hear it.
Hi. So I've been here pretty much since like day one. And I gotta say, it is so, so cool to watch everybody change when they enter this program. And I gotta say, the team that you put together between you and, being the head of it, Spring being the tech of it, but Jay being the glue of it, I gotta say it was amazing. And Jay pushed me so much. Thank you so much for believing in me, pushing me, and really helping me get past that finish line. Like there was a time when you couldn't just stay in the same group that you started in. And I am a testament to that, which is the reason why I'm group 9.5, because I went through 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 3.5. Add that together. I'm a 9.5er. So yeah. And I gotta say, it's just so cool going through all those different groups. And I feel like I'm very lucky that I was able to do that, because I got to see how everybody changed. Like I remember, and I'm going to call a couple people out. I remember when Meryl did not say a word. She was petrified to speak up, to coach. She was so afraid about getting it wrong. And it's like, you're not going to get it wrong. Everybody's infinitely unique. You just look at their strengths. And that's the nice thing about this. And I do miss being so a part of all of, this every week and every day. And because you get to see the changes in people. I'm a people watcher, but so I'll sit back and I'll strategically think about everything. And then I'll try to do it the right way in order to move somebody forward. So it's kind of cool when you sit back and you watch as a strategic thinker, and then you try to put something together to get to execute it and in order to move them forward. And that's how I connect with the right people. And I got to say, I was so grateful. And I know I keep saying this for Jay, because she was that relationship builder I needed, because I am not a relationship builder. Harmony is 34. So just wanted to say thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. I am not a part of the ICM right now. I know that those that are going to be in it or have been in it and are going to continue, you're going to do great things. I have no doubt. But I got to say thank you so much for starting this, Eddie, because honest and truly, I don't think I would have been able to get through COVID without it. So thank you.
Yay. Thanks,
Oh,
Lori.
so
You.
good. Thank you, Lori, for just doing so much. Same thing. Lori, one of the things I appreciate about people, especially Lori in this case, is their desire to speak up. When things are going a certain way, a good way, bad way, or whatever, she says something. And for me, that's so valuable, because we need that. When we're putting things out, something has to come back. And there are people in our lives that send things back. And one of the things I can extend gratitude to Lori is, thank you for teaching me how to use my ears more than my mouth. You're
welcome.
Yeah. Sometimes when feedback was coming, I would try to use my mouth to respond to it instead of my ears. And Lori was, and Renee, if Renee is, I think Renee was here a little bit ago, if she's still here. Renee was also helpful with me developing my ears, and so thank you. All right, let's go to Jane Leitbecker. Jane from 3.0. Jane, let's hear.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah.
I wanted to, first of all, Eddie, if you hadn't made the requirement in 1.0 that people part of the requirement is to get people into the community, I wouldn't have been there because Jay was in that course and Jay brought me in. And then Jay also got me to take the coaching program. Told me, I'd be a good coach. And so she talked me into it. And she's also coached me so many times. Just an offhand remark that I would make, and she would go, "Well, aren't you activator? Yeah. Well, why aren't you doing this?" I'm like, that was one of the coaching moments she did during our teenagers coaching call when I asked a question. And so, and she got me through also my daughters. I had gotten her to take her top 5 strengths early on. This is before Eddie. And so I opened up all 34 and Jay walked me through that, my daughter's strengths after she was gone. So that was a beautiful, beautiful moment. Jay is really sensitive, and I have also really appreciated her relationship building skills because that's what I needed out of the group. So thank you, Jay, and thank you, Eddie, for having this amazing community.
Thanks, Jane. I love you.
Love you too.
Yeah, same. It's funny because there's so many of you have been around a long time, but it really hasn't been a long time. It's only been a few years. But strangely, it feels like it's a long time. And I kind of get the feeling that the reason it feels like a long time is because these relationships are so deep. They're emotional. Like when I think of you, Jane, I have an emotional reaction. When I think of Lori, I have an emotional reaction. When I think of Meryl, I have like there's so many. I can name everybody here, and these emotions can run deep, and they feel like they're supposed to be relationships that have gone on for years and years and years, and really it's only been a short while. And I was praying this morning, and one of my new processes with my life and business is I come right to God. Instead of going, "God, I want this, this, this," I go and say, "What do you want?" That's my first question, first thing. And this morning, knowing in anticipation for our call today, I asked God, "What do you want for your business?" God's business is the Unleash Your Strengths community. And I said, "What do you want for your business?" And he said, "I want you to celebrate the people." I want you to celebrate the people. And I'll be honest, y'all, I could not ask for an easier assignment because of the work you've all done for you. You have made my job, which was to celebrate you all today, effortless, easy. All I had to do was say, put your hand up if you have something you want to share. And then all I had to do was call in a person, and it is person after person after person. So for me, the future of the Unleash Your Strengths community is that it obviously it is God's community, and it must grow. It must be maximized. It must be expanded. It must be expanded as fast as possible. One of the things Jane brought up real quick, and then we'll get to Paulette. I see Paulette here. One of the first requirements to join the certification program, to graduate, excuse me, was to bring a certain number of people into the community and turn those sales into commissions, right? And then that would show you were moving people forward. That was one of the very first things. And I got talked out of that. And said, well, how about we just help people make money for themselves? And if they share with the community, great. If they don't, whatever. But it was for them, right? And I was like, okay, I got talked into it. And for the most part, it's been a blessing, like all things, right? It's goods and bads. But obviously it kind of got away from the idea of that we're bringing people into this community. So every single week, Monday mornings, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, that Zoom call will be available for free for anybody that just wants to bring someone in, right? And try it out once. There it is. So to be able to come every week, obviously you've got to be a paid member, but if you want to bring someone every Monday, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, you're welcome to bring someone and have them experience it. Of course, get them to take the strengths assessment so they can get the most out of it and so on. Okay, so let's go to Paulette Webb next. And then I want to go to Spring and Jay, if Spring is able to talk. I don't know if Spring is at that point yet, but it's good to see her here. Okay, Paulette, go ahead.
All right, I have to take a breath. In 2016, I learned about this incredible tool called Strengths. And I came across this book. And there was a code in the back to take my top 5 and learn my top 5 strengths. And so took the test, comes back with my top 5. I was so excited about it. Pulled out the book, compared it with the assessment. And so, yep, that's me. Yep, that's me. As I'm going through each one of those top 5 strengths. But I had no clue what to do with it. And I was so excited about it. And I started talking to a whole bunch of people about it. But it wasn't until a couple of years later when I learned about Eddie and I learned about this community. And I learned about the value of opening up that full report. This community, this team of people, has been such a gift and such a lifeline for me over these past few years. And I can't thank you all enough for sharing your gifts, for sharing your strengths, for the love and the patience that you've shown me over these past few years. And I just wanted to say thank you.
Paulette, that is probably the most eloquent, perfectly worded testimonial I've ever heard, like ever. So perfectly put. And one of the things that I'm grateful for, Paulette, everybody, and there's several people in my world that are like this, is that we all understand the value of different speeds. Right, Paulette? The value of different speeds, right? And some of us we all go at different speeds. And it really, Paulette and several people really have helped me understand that the speed at which a person moves has no bearing on whether or not there's a difference being made. Right? And Paulette, I so grateful to you that you've always honored your pace, your speed, your way of doing things. And I learn from you, watching you talk and do things and try out new things. And like for example, when you generated 11 leads for your business about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, that was amazing. Because I know how much value you offer the world. You can offer the world, and to see you, like, just so everyone understands, 11 leads for Paulette, that's busting out in a big way. And I wish I could have just sat with you and just like had you witness how much joy it brought me to see you bust out like that. Right. Because I know what it meant to you too. So thank you. Ooh, the value of different speeds, friends. Okay, I see Ruth's hand go up. So let's go to Ruth, her physical hand.
Yeah, I couldn't find the little digital hand. I looked every place, but I guess this is kind of long, but I many years ago I was married to a very abusive man. And I went to a psychologist, a clinical psychologist, for 3 years and truly learned what abuse really is. And she taught me, quote unquote, how to recognize it and how to, quote unquote, deal with it. Well, but had you gone to her, she probably would have taught you those same hows. And not that there's anything wrong with clinical psychologists, but a lot of what she taught me wasn't really going to work for me. And I didn't understand why. And then when I finally got a divorce and I knew I would never get married again. I then met the most wonderful man in the world. God rewarded me. And when he died about 2.5 years ago, I kind of reverted back to the old me. And some people that I had relied on for support were not only unsupportive, but one of them became very abusive. And this was a person that I deal with on a regular basis. And all of this was going on at the same time that I started taking the strengths training. And I finally learned, and so I appreciate so much, Eddie, that you put this all together because, I started understanding on an intellectual level how I could use my strengths to deal with abuse, if, rather than the old way. But on an emotional level, I hadn't really accepted it until I did a lot of work with Jay. And I can really thank Jay for giving me back my life and my business because I was ready to quit because I thought I can't do this anymore. And Jay said, wait, what about your strengths? You've learned about them. You need to use them. And so I have learned that, and I have done what I needed to do to deal with this person. And I recognize I love this person because she is one of God's children and her strengths are different than mine. And that doesn't mean either one of us is right or wrong or good or bad. But it also means that I don't have to tolerate abuse in my life. And so, yeah, I'm so grateful to all of y'all. And Spring has also been very, very supportive in all of this. So thank you.
Awesome.
Love
So
you, Ruth.
awesome. You are awesome, Ruth.
Thank you.
You are awesome. Thank you. Thank you for, again, say it again. Thank you for the work that you did for you. I'm going to drive that K, the work. You can feel it. Everybody, you all can feel it, right? The work that was done. So freaking grateful for you. Thank you, Ruth. Whew. Okay. I see Spring is working on some stuff with there, but I don't know if she's able to share because her voice might not be able to, but I'll while she's back, I'll give her a minute. I would like to get to Jay. Jay shared a really great testimonial in our last meeting, but I wanted to give her a chance to share a little bit more. Now that we're here, Jay, and we're seeing all these people who have gone through this program over the years, and we remember when they first joined and the many conversations we had. Like I remember when I'm looking at certain names, like, hey, so and so joined, and Jay and you and I would like, oh, we're gonna help there, and we're gonna do this. All the conversations we had about these people. But taking all that in, Jay, do you have anything you want to add to this? What the 7.0 is, or what the certification program is, this journey, and then
Meryl's
Spring wants to. Oh, Meryl's hand is up.
Real quick.
I couldn't see it. Go ahead, Meryl. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't see that your hand was up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hang on. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Say that again, Eddie.
Go ahead, Meryl. I'm sorry. I didn't see that your hand was up.
Yes. No, it's Lori's right. I'm a person of very few words, but I just wanted to say, I've been in the strengths the whole ride with Jay, and we're very much the yin and yang, the same but different. Like our sneakers. Like our sneakers, yeah. We've heard these amazing testimonials today from students and other people in the program and other people in the program, but I'm just curious. I would love to hear what from you. What you know, the Jay that you saw in the beginning and what and where we are now, because it's, I mean, that must have been so amazing for you. And that's really just what I want to say. I mean, I've been along on this ride. It's just amazing program, and I can only imagine what you are thinking and feeling. So I mean, I would love to hear it.
Are you muted?
Yes.
I'm unmuted.
You're good, Jay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would too, but I have Meryl has to turn that down.
So Meryl, you want to hear me tell you about the Jay that I met versus the Jay today?
Whatever you want to say.
So, all right, I'm gonna have to be brief, or I'll be here all day. There's a lot, but I'll try to get to the point as quickly as I can. When you for those of you that ever want to do this, whoever want to bring groups of people, what I get to teach you all is how to handle the J in your life. I'll call it this. How it worked was I put together people. I try to gather people as much as I can. It's almost like I put who I am out there and I make invitations, and who comes, you know, God's in charge of that. And then what'll happen is one or a few, but one in particular will be just a little louder than the others. And for whatever reason, one way or the other, they'll just grab your attention and they won't let go. Even when you can't handle it, they won't let go of your attention. And so that's what it was for Jay. So the first thing I remember seeing was she went live on Facebook, and I was like, oh, this is that lady that's she's in my group. And she was live on Facebook in New York. And the first thing that caught my eye, or my ear, if you will, was her accent, her New York accent. I'm not even going to do an impression. It's terrible. Anyway. So I was like, that's obvious where that's coming from, the East Coast. And I just loved listening to her talk. And then from there, she started getting very involved in everybody that was doing the program. And I'm like, she's helping. And whenever people are helping, help them. When you see people helping, help them, because they're helping more people. And for me, I'm like, anybody that's helping, I want to help them, because if they're helping others and I want to help them, they help more people. And that's where it became. So it wasn't my idea originally to have Jay run a hi-ho group. It was someone else's idea. But I accepted it quickly, and then it became more. If I were to describe in a simple sentence or two, what was Jay like when we first started and who has she become now? I would say, somebody who had so much to share with the world. Gosh, man, this is hard. It's really hard to summarize this one. But she kind of drilled into my heart with a big drill. Like I'm trying to think of a metal sharp drill. She drilled her way into my heart. And it was like being tickled and broken down piece by piece all at the same time. So I couldn't stop it because the tickling was so good. The painful parts, it didn't stop it. Like I couldn't stop it because there was so much good in there. So that's how I would describe Jay at the beginning. And since then it's become this very deep, intense relationship. And I've watched Jay become a powerful listener, a very powerful listener. It wasn't her strongest suit when we first met, but it's become her best piece, like a best part about her is how well she listens. And how well she hears. And more importantly, she hears more than what's being shared. And I've never really felt like I was part of Jay's maturing. I always felt like I was more of the student around Jay. I always felt like I was supposed to learn something from her, and I still feel like that in many ways. But whether she will admit it or not, she's become a very, very powerful influencer in all the best ways of what an influencer is. Very powerful to large groups. And that's what I see, Meryl. So without me going longer, which I could, I'll stop there. Hopefully that's good.
Thanks, Eddie. I don't ever think of myself as an influencer. If you always look, it's always RB first. I know that I love to move people forward, but I'm also good with moving one person forward. It doesn't have to be 300. I'm not comfortable on a stage or in front of 3,000 people. That's not my goal. It never was. And now that, you know, Eddie's letting me go and I'm moving on, everybody keeps messaging me, when are you starting your practice? When are you starting your practice? When are you starting your practice? And what people don't understand is my practice has never stopped. I'm not starting it. It's never stopped. But what I love to do is teach. I don't love to have my own practice. And Eddie's known that all along. Eddie's never held me back from anything I want to do. He's given me the wings to fly wherever I want to go. But where I've wanted to go is right where I am. I'm going to miss this job terribly, but I also know that Eddie's got wings and he's flying and growing. And he's got to take off. And so that means right now we're going separate directions. But I will be forever grateful for this opportunity because this is what I love to do. This is what I was born to do. I've known it since I was young. It's never deviated. I always knew I was a great teacher, always. It's what I love to do. And if I don't think I'm great, then there's something wrong with what I love to do. But what I've never done till I met Eddie is teach people this way, strengths. I could teach you how to throw a ball and I could tell you why, you know, this bone's connected to that bone as a phys ed teacher. But as a strengths coach, I had to relearn things, right? So it's like learning how to walk again. And so even though I had all the degrees in the world and all the teaching experience in the world, from the first time when Sherry reached out for help, may she rest in peace, and I miss her dearly, I formed a group every Monday night and we met. And every person in that group except one graduated. And the one that didn't graduate was thrown out of the community. So that worked for me. Sorry, I said it. There, I did. But I was elected because I started the group. I was elected to message Eddie. And you have to remember, Eddie was Eddie Villa. I didn't know him. I just joined his group and signed up for the coaching class. And so I messaged him and then my phone rings and I remember it ringing and I'm in the middle of what would be the beginning of Hi Ho, which was me helping others to help themselves to graduate. And my phone rings and I'm like, it's Eddie. It's Eddie. It's Eddie Villa. He's calling me. Oh my God. Everybody, you want to hear him? I'll put it on speaker. Yeah. Oh my God. It's Eddie. And I don't give a crap if you're like a famous actor, a famous musician. I'm not easily influenced. I never had Eddie on a pedestal, but here was the owner of this business calling me. And I'm like, why the hell is he calling me? And he's like, I got to know who this person is that's been elected to tell me everything that's wrong with my program and why they picked you. Because I was the one that had to say, tell Eddie to fix this and tell Eddie to fix that and tell Eddie he should do this. Well, now we know we don't tell Eddie anything. We don't tell him what to do. We ask him, how would you like to do it? So that's how much I've grown from telling to asking. And I didn't listen because as an empath, I already had the story in my head. And so I'm just really good at finishing people's sentences. So I just never let him finish a sentence. And even when I started coaching, I'm like, oh, stop, don't say anymore. I know exactly what you're going to say. Now imagine that was me in the coaching 101. but now I'm in coaching, advanced level technique coaching, and I don't do that anymore. And so I've always been the student. Eddie's always been the mentor. But I know as a teacher and an elder, I know that I've taught Eddie a few of my tricks, and I appreciate you, taking the time to listen and learn. And I've kind of watched us both grow together. And it's been a really great journey. And the best part of the journey was meeting every single person whose life I got to touch, and the trust that they gave me and allowed me to touch it. And what person in the world could ask for anything more than that? So thank you all for allowing me into your lives and trusting me with your strengths.
Well said. All right. Let's see. Spring. Thank you, Jay. Spring, are you able to talk? She's got one finger up. That's good. That's good. I'd love to get Spring's words on this. And then while we're waiting for Spring, thank you all so much. This has been very uplifting as always, every year that we do this. So the future is not set. There is more coming, obviously, with the Inner Circle for those of you that are interested. I already have several people who have messaged me. So I'm going to get on the phone with each and every one of you today, show you whatever it is you want to see inside the group, answer any questions you have, and of course, enthusiastically invite you to be a part of this next level that's about to take place. 2025 is going to be very spiritually uplifting for so many, and I want to be a part of it. So make sure you're messaging me privately, or if you have any questions. Now let's go to Spring.
Hi. I am sounding very lovely as I am getting over a very lovely cold. Eddie, what did you want me to say other than hi?
Any thoughts? I mean, anything on this certification program, the journey of strengths up so far? Maybe a little bit of thoughts about some of the things you and I talked about, what we're doing going forward, and just kind of sum up this great year, this great experience.
This has been amazing, and it's not stopping. Eddie's still full steam ahead. So just stay on the ride, stay on the journey. Y'all know he might be threatening you that he's not going to teach you anything new, but we all know that that's a big fat lie because his brain just can't help it as he eats, sleeps, and drinks strengths. And now he will have God downloads en masse. And when you have God downloads, you have to share. You guys probably have learned a little bit about that from me. When I have God downloads, I share, but I do it mostly on my Facebook. So I have enjoyed all the last 4 years. The coaching program has been amazing. I like to be behind the scenes. I like to sit back and watch quietly in my corner. But I've gotten to watch people grow, change. I've gotten to see light bulbs turn on. I have been able to see traumas being healed and people overcome themselves, their own issues that they develop inside of themselves, and blossom and grow and bloom and create new relationships. I don't think Melissa's on here anymore. Melissa is a huge testimony of that. But yeah, the transformation and change that people learn when they learn their strengths, but learning it the way that Eddie teaches it, it's important because he's got a gift. It's a different gift. I've heard other people talk about strengths. doTERRA just sucks at it. Sorry. They have no freaking clue. But yeah, Eddie has a God-given gift on how to take these strengths and help you to apply them in all the areas of your life. So keep embracing the wonderful person that you are, because God created you for a purpose. And if you don't know it yet, keep pressing on, because you'll learn it. That's all.
Thank you, Spring.
You're welcome.
So
Oh,
yeah.
and I just one little quick thing
Yeah,
for
go for
Jay. When Jay says that she doesn't feel like an influencer or a leader, this is the image that comes to my mind when I think back, way back to the 1.0 and to the now. And in the 1.0, here's Eddie blazing a trail with strengths into the unknown. I mean, he's literally, it's like, you know, going into the bush and chopping down this, and he's creating his own trail, teaching strengths. And Jay and that 1.0 group, they're like right behind him. They're like, okay, we're going to learn this. And Eddie's showing them the tools and they're learning it. And Jay jumps in right behind Eddie. And she's got the rest of the group behind her. And she's like, come on, we can do this. Come on, guys, we got this. You just have to do this. You got to do this, and we're gonna get through this. And she would carry some on her back, you know, piggyback them, and then each coaching program, she would take them off her back and set them in front of her. And we get to now, where Jay leads the pack from the back. She gives you guys the light and says, go. You got the tools. Now go. I'm right behind you. That is what I've seen Jay grow.
Love you, Spring. And Jay doesn't grow without Spring, because while she's in the back, she's going, Spring, press the damn button. Press it, Spring. Help me, Spring. Give me the paper thing. Give me the thing, Spring. Help me, help me. So Spring and I have become really good friends, and we value what each other does. So thank you, Spring. I love you.
Love you too, babe.
And we both love Eddie. Wow.
All right. Well, friends, we've come to the end here. Once again, thank you all so much for the work you've done for you, and keep doing it. And of course, I want to be a part of it. I want to be able to give you everything that I got inside of my heart and share this information with you. There are two incredible things that I have coming up that everything I do, it'll be starting with the inner circle. So book 3 is one of the reasons why I am choosing not to create more content for the community more, is because I've got to write my 3rd book. That's going to be the content I'm going to be creating. The 3rd book is going to be, the first book was obviously Unleash Your Strengths. And that was about, you know, helping people understand strengths better than, you know, doTERRA or whoever. And then the second book was Unleash, to help people understand that they do have strengths, that you do have something magnificent to offer the world. I felt like that book needed to be written, so I wrote that book. So now we're going to be moving into the 3rd book, which is called Unleash Their Strengths, which is going to be a tool, a guide to help you help other people, whether it's in a business or network marketing business or just in life in general, to be able to be a person that other people come to because they want to be unleashed. So they want to learn how to do it for other people. This book is going to be a manual for that. And the Inner Circle is going to help me write it. We're going to be putting in the most valuable tools and strategies and structures and systems and whatever we have that I've ever created inside of Unleash Your Strengths. And we're going to put that together in a book. The Inner Circle is where that's going to start. The 3rd thing is going to be a secret, only because I'm very excited about the potential of this. This is going to be a pretty big deal. Because I'm partnering with somebody brand new who is the opposite of me, very organized and wants nothing to do with talking to people. And then we're going to be going out to investors. We're going to need investors for this project. It's going to be pretty amazing. And the Inner Circle will be the first ones to demo this when we get the first version of it sometime in 2025. So I'm excited about those 2 things, and then this Inner Circle. So if you're interested, message me privately, please. I've already got appointments set up for the rest for today. I've got room for more. Today is about talking with you all, and then tomorrow, which is Sunday, is all family and church and all that fun stuff. So if you're interested in hearing more about the Inner Circle, message me. I'll answer all your questions, show you everything, and of course, excitedly invite you to be a part of it. With that being said, Spring and Jay, thank you so much for all the work you've done over the years to help me get what's inside of here out to people and to help those people actually implement it and make a difference. For those of you that are here watching, thank you so much for every little thing you've done to challenge yourself and move yourself forward. When you help you, it is the best gift you can give others. Let me say that again. When you help you, it is the best gift you can give others because you're giving them more of you. You're giving them a better you. And there is nothing better than that. And you have all the control in the world to do that. So feel free to message me privately as soon as you can, and we'll talk. I'd be happy to talk with you anytime today. I'm about to end this call, and I've got one of you already ready to talk as soon as I'm done. So with that being said, have a wonderful day, friends. Thank you all so much. And the 7.0 students, we are going to be hanging out again on the second Wednesday of January. And and basically what I want to know is, where are you now? What are you working on? How is it helping you? How can we offer more? And we're going to meet again the following week. So with that being said, thank you all. If you have anything else you want to add, feel free to do it now, or just unmute and say goodbye, everybody, and we'll see you all in the new year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Jay.
Happy New Year. Happy New
Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Mhm.